Welcome to Double Feature, our new-ish show for area51.com and this YouTube channel, where myself and Alan swap films probably weekly. I think we're probably going to be doing it roughly about.
Hopefully.
You know. So Alan is very much into anime. I don't know anything about anime. For those who also don't know about anime, Japanese animated films, and I'm heavily into horror. Alan knows a bit about horror, but you know, there's a lot, mostly around the zombie genre. So
yeah, beyond zombies fighting sharks, that's really my only area of
that's
expertise.
all you need to know. That's all you need to know. So basically, we swap films, and I'm going to also try and stop saying basically so much. Okay, so let's start, Alan, with my choice for you.
Yes, this week Mike inflicted upon me Poltergeist, which was a film, which was a horror film, yes, funnily enough, released in 1982, and the film tells the story of the Freeling family who lived the sort of suburban American ideal, only their lives are interrupted one day by the appearance of a ghostly presence in their house. At first the presence seems to be quite benign and almost sort of friendly as it shifts their chairs around in their dining room, that sort of thing. But before long they realise that there's something is a little bit up with it when it attacks them and kidnaps their youngest daughter. It's more of a sort of supernatural thriller, I would say, almost than a horror film. There are bits of it that are quite sort of horrible and quite unpleasant, but it's not the sort of thing that I would just say, yeah, like that. Basically. What I wasn't prepared for with the film was that it's actually very funny. Particularly, yes. I would say the first half hour of it is almost like a sitcom, the way it's set up. I mean, it's... Well,
it does star Craig T. Nelson from Coach.
Yeah, I was trying to think where I'd seen him from, because I believe they cast relative unknowns for the film.
Definitely chops and changes from, like, assuming you said it's like a roller coaster ride. Tonally it is really like that, because it's like, it has... Sometimes it's like, well, this is going to be a balls to the wall haunted house picture, and then other times it is like it's a comedy. I love the last shot of the film. I think it's hysterical.
Oh,
Don't want to ruin it for anyone who's not seen it, but it's really funny. And there's a lot about the film that's quite amusing, but it does shift from being like, because there are moments in this, and I think this will actually probably be in my top 10 films that messed me up.
Really?
Yeah, because I think that it'll be like the clown.
Oh,
a lot of people really are terrified by the clown, and I can understand that, because the clown
talking about this the other day, actually,
scared the shit out of me. I mean, it really did.
Yeah, that is actually quite horrible.
It really did. I think I have always really enjoyed Poltergeist. I thought it was a very good haunted house film. I really love the haunted house genre. There aren't many good haunted house films out there. I mean, there are a lot of them, but there's not many that are actually of a quality, and I think this one is pretty out there. But it does does feel a bit gimmicky at times, where the tree, the clown, and
there is a sense maybe that you're moving between different set pieces, and it's just a sort of series of set pieces strung together. How did you? In fact, what do you think of the effects in the film? Because I thought the effects had actually aged quite well. I mean, you do get the feeling that I think there's sort of rear projection and stuff that is sort of reasonably obvious, but at the same time, it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look forced or phony.
No, I think some of the effects have stood up really, really well. I think the famous face scene in the mirror is like, you can totally tell that's like a fake head and someone's got their arms around doing that.
Well, I mean, I'd say that's it
starts off well.
Yeah, I would say that's on a par with the bit in the Terminator where Arnie's chopping his eye out.
But I thought it was very good. It's an interesting film because there was a lot of controversy around it about the whole thing that Tobe Hooper was supposed to be the person who directed it, and he did direct it, but I think much in the way that what was his name, Naihe directed the original The Thing. People always go, no, it was Howard Hawks that directed it. I think what happened, for those who don't know, with Poltergeist is that supposedly, I think there was a cap on how many films within Hollywood you could direct at a time.
Yeah, there was something that was stopping Spielberg, who produced the film, from directing it. Although it does feel, very much like a Spielberg film from beginning to end. I mean, I would say it's the work of a consummate entertainer. I mean, it's.
It feels
it
like
really is.
It feels like if Spielberg, what you would imagine it would be like if Spielberg did a horror film.
Yeah,
that's
no,
what it feels
that's
like.
it in a nutshell, basically. Yeah.
That is. Can I ask you though? Like you said, it was funny, right? And it is a good example of being. It's got comedy elements in it, not to the same extent of films like American Werewolf in London and Shaun of the Dead and stuff like that. But did it scare you?
Well, there were a few times when I felt, sort of. I was in an elevated state of alertness, but I don't think it ever
Thank
really.
God you didn't say arousal.
Well, saying that, the woman that plays the mum, I mean,
she's quite hot.
And I was reading somewhere that I think she says it says in the film that she is 32 and her daughter is 16. Think about that for a moment.
Let's think about that. Yeah, that's probably a bit dodgy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Craig T. Nelson's been up to no good.
Basically, yeah.
Because I reckon Craig T. Nelson's in his 40s and that easy.
Well, I don't know, I kind of read it as being like, they're at school together and he knocks her up. But,
oh, maybe. Who knows? Yeah, he's at school, she's in
he's teaching.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
He was the coach.
No, definitely worth checking out. It's pure entertainment from beginning to end. You really can't go wrong.
I wholeheartedly endorse this message. I really love the film. I think it's excellent. Alright, so 2 thumbs up.
Hey.
And true, that's 4. Alright, so let's move on then. What film did you give me?
Yes, and this week I have inflicted upon Mike Katsuhiro Otomo's 1988 epic Akira. Mike, what did you think of this film?
Jesus Christ. Akira is about it's about a post-apocalyptic society that are rebuilt. It's in the throes of some sort of like almost semi-fascist regime. It feels at times, they're leanings towards that anyway, and at the same time everything's like really degraded and a bit. I don't know if decadent's the right word, but it feels as if it's like that society's run its course and everything's really doing quite badly. And you've got this biker gang basically basically again. You get this biker gang who are made up of like teenagers who have been like put into like the worst school possible because they're like just troublemakers, and one of them ends up getting involved by accident in some sort of government experiment, and it's to do with, well, I don't want to really ruin it, but really it's to do with like just experimenting with pushing the limits of the human mind. I think that's as far as I would go. If I could sum it up in one line, I would say it's a film full of arseholes. There's maybe like 1 or 2 moments of humanity, but like put it this way: if this film was discovered by aliens, if this was like the first transmission that they intercepted of us, we'd be in trouble. We'd be in a lot of trouble because it does not say much for the human race. It really does not. I thought. That being said, I think it's quite a mean-spirited film, is what I'm basically saying in a lot of places. But that being said, it did try to have like a sort of positive ending to it, which maybe saved it slightly, but it is very good. The animation's fantastic, really, really good. It's brutal. It's a brutal film. It's very violent, in places. And like I say,
wait till you see what we got next week. Sorry.
and it to me, it was a film that for the most part showed complete disregard for the human spirit. I mean that's the way it felt to me. But I'm not saying that in a bad way, because I actually enjoyed it and I think it was quite good. And I think the point is probably in it that society had run its course and it needed to be torn down to be started properly again to actually get somewhere. And I also think it's a film I'd probably have to watch. I only watched it once. Probably have to watch it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Before I really got to grips with the whole thing. But I did really enjoy it. I thought it was very good. It was just not what I expected. No, it just wasn't what I expected.
Yeah.
You basically took me. You take me on a roller coaster ride. We had Castle of Cagliostro,
I have kind of given you the 2 extremes,
which was like this lovely,
it's like,
enjoyable romp.
It's like basically candy floss and clouds and happy trees and things that Bob Ross paints in Castle of Cagliostro. This is the flip side. This is more like
razor blades in your face.
Yes. Seeing as it's a bit cyberpunk, imagine a woman's shoe grinding upon the face of humanity for all eternity. What do you think of that though? Do you agree with that about what I felt, that it was a mean-spirited film? Well, I don't know if I get that so much now, because I was like confession, and the first time I saw Akira, I hated it. I really did not get into it the first time at all. I think it was probably the second time I saw it before I really kind of appreciated it. I was quite young when I saw it the first time. I think as a lot of people were, I believe. But I don't know, I think what you were kind of driving towards there was that it was a film about rebirth. And I think that's something that you get in quite a lot of Japanese cinema, purely because they're the only country on earth that's ever faced the A-bomb. And again, it's kind of a recurring theme in the film that you do have this scene of even though in the film it's not actually nuclear destruction, you do get an image that's pretty close to it.
Yeah, very close to it. I should say the biggest surprise to me is that whenever anyone mentioned anime to me growing up, I instantly thought of Akira, even though I hadn't seen it. Everybody talked about it.
Yeah.
And for a film that shies away from the sort of stereotypical sort of good guy motifs, I'm very surprised that it's something that had such popularity.
That's quite true, actually, because I mean it's very much it's almost a kind of story of 2 anti-heroes in a way.
Aye, oh definitely. I think, let's say, they start to take their roles more clearly at the end of the film. They started doing like the locomotion there. Come on. So, yeah, I would definitely say then, I would definitely recommend watching it. I think if you're going to watch it, you're going to have to throw out any prejudice or idea of what it might be like, because it most probably, even with us describing what it's like, it most probably will not be anything like what you think it will be. I did find it really enjoyable, and I will definitely be watching it again. I'll probably watch it again actually, maybe a week or 2, because it is a film that's got so much in it. I think you can take. But I did, as much as I'm saying it's mean-spirited, I think in a lot of ways, I think Alan's right that there is the idea of rebirth in there. So sometimes you've got to go through that pain to get to get everything to come to fruition.
Yeah, there is a sense of cleansing in the film.
Yeah, definitely. So I think that has said everything. So anyway, next week we're going to have a wee chat. We're going to decide what horror film to give you.
Yeah, and I'll try and go easier on you and give you something.
So far we've done two double features, and we've liked the videos, the films that we've given each other so far. So maybe next week we'll hate and we'll go. I know it sounds like I didn't like Akira, but I did really like it. It's just it wasn't what I expected. It sort of kind of blew my mind a little bit, and I think I will need to watch it again to get a full grasp on it. So anyway, it's a good night from me.
And it's good night from him.
Good night.
Hey. Why did I go like that?
I don't know. I'm not a crook.
I am a crook.
Yeah.
Yes.
A gentleman crook.
Yeah, some raffles.
What?